So hi guys, let me just get my mic closer here. So I originally made this video and I did the audio when I was really heated, and I was actually debating on whether or not I should post it because I was thinking, and I'm like, well, people like my rants. They like when I'm heated. They like when I just kind of go off. I mean, it's where I get a lot of people from, and I sat on that, and I sat on thinking that because the audio was like nearly about 30 minutes of a rant. And I'm kind of being like known and getting known as like a rant-ish channel. And I don't want that to be a thing. I know it sounds really weird, but my overall goal with my channel, which is why it's TwistedDisaster, and yeah, it's main focus is art because I'm an artist and I like art and I like the art community and art topics, and I like art drama and talking about it as a whole, so we can like try to have it be fixed in the future. And I like giving advice from things that I've learned of and mistakes I've made, so younger people don't make the same mistakes. And yeah, I put out a story time, a rant, a here and this, here and there. I also do like silly, stupid live streams that don't really have much to do with my channel, but I mean, it's me, so in that sense it is. But I really want to talk about the changes that were this year, me personally, how I was affected. You're seeing YouTubers doing it everywhere, but I recently watched a video by what's his name? Stop Skeletons from Fighting. And I've never heard of this guy before. I've never seen his videos before, but I saw his video circling on Twitter of a YouTube horror story, and he was just talking about his past year on YouTube. And it really got me thinking about a lot of things that are happening and going to happen in January, and why a lot of people are rightfully scared. So this year, for you guys who don't know, when you get paid in Google AdSense, I believe, like, it's either by law or by the chance that they will take away your money. Like, they will take away your AdSense if you actually give a 100% accurate number of how much you make. You can be vague, you can say here and there's, but if you, like, actually say how much you make and you show your Google AdSense stuff, you could get your Google AdSense taken down, or just completely, unable to get paid at all. Which, if you guys don't know, when you see video ads on a video, sometimes that's not even the YouTuber getting paid. That's another company putting ads on the video and they're getting paid for it. It's this whole like sketchy process. So when you see some people, mine not so much, because a lot of my stuff is just my voice and my art in the background, or like I'm coloring someone else's art. It's all my own stuff. I'll like throw like an image on screen or something for like a minute, but I never do like, I don't really do like movie footage. I don't do game footage. I don't do clips like that. I never do audio logs when I'm talking about a topic, because when I make my topic videos inspired by people, I like saying it that way instead of just being like, I'm going to make a video on controversial person on YouTube today, number 20, because while, yeah, that'll get more clicks and stuff, it doesn't do well in the long run. And I like making topic videos on the overall issue at hand, because there's never just one person. That's a really big issue, which is also why YouTube is making all these changes. There's never one Ace family. There's never one Onision. There's never... Those are literally the only two that can pop in my head right now. Like at the literally the top of my head, but there's never one. They're the bigger ones, this is true, but there's never one. There are thousands out there, and some are in other languages that we don't even know about, because we're on the English algorithm speaking side of YouTube. There are whole other languages and countries and types of YouTube out there that people seem to forget that are out there. I know, I forget all the time. Sometimes I'll go watch a video and the whole thing is in Chinese, and like, everything, the comment section, the title, everything, and I'm just like, whoa, this is a really neat video. So there's whole other aspects out there. So you're going to see it everywhere, and that's the issue. It's not this one person. This one person is terrible usually in those cases, but it's not the one person. I like taking it more as a core and talking about it as a topic and my opinions on it. Same with art drama and art facts and things that irritate me, and I want to help people. I don't like people getting taken advantage of because I've been taken advantage of. I don't like spewing out negative energy that isn't warranted, and because of that, though, I also have a very soft spot for kids, and there is a big problem with YouTube. And it is that their biggest demographic is children, is young children who parents don't want to parent. That sounds so harsh. It is 100% true. I have seen it. I see it daily when I leave my house. There are people I know in my personal life who have young children who use YouTube as a babysitter. These kids are growing up on YouTube while I grew up on the TV. This has been a thing since radio has been around, realistically. There are a lot of parents that I once heard, I know this is like really random, but it has to do with the thing. I once heard a really good saying, and it was, why is it when a girl says she doesn't want to have kids, they ask her all these weird questions instead of asking, why do you want to have kids? And it's really true. There are a lot of people, even in this day and age where we're having a lot less kids than we used to, there are still a lot of people who they feel inclined to have children. They do not want children. They do not like children, but they need to have children. That's what you do. And those 99% of the time are the parents that don't want to parent. When I was in the teaching field, I saw that. I saw many, many parents that did not give two shits about their kids at all. They would never check their kids' homework. They would never read papers we would send home. They would rather sleep in than have their child have a fun memory and experience with their class that they've known about for months. They just don't care. And with things like YouTube and with things like social media, it is so much easier now to put on an app on an iPad or a phone, give it to a kid, and have them shut up. This has happened to me. I have been out with my mom with some clients recently, and I was just visiting my mom, and she was like, hey, do you mind? I have to meet this client, and she has some kids, and you're good with kids. And I was like, sure, I don't mind going. Still little goth me. And I'm like, as long as I don't scare them. Usually I don't scare the kids. I kind of weird the parents out, and I'm a pretty tame goth at that. But anyway, we went out and we went to this, we went to a coffee shop, name brand coffee shop here, cough. So, my mom and the parents were not arguing. They were doing the paperwork, and the kids were getting a little fussy. And, I was like, oh, do you have any toys I can play with them? I could take them for a little walk around the little shopping complex, so you guys can get your work done. And the mom was just like, nah, took out her phone, opened YouTube, and just gave it to her kid, and the kids just instantly shut up and started watching YouTube. And they started watching YouTube that very much wasn't age appropriate, for their age group. It's more like stuff I watch, and they're just laughing along and playing, and the mom was like, put your headphones in, and the dad would put the headphones in so they didn't have to hear it. And once the meeting was done and everything, and I'd literally just watch these kids watch, a very not child-friendly video game review and video, I asked them, I'm like, if it's not my place, how often does that happen? And they're like, oh, well, sometimes kids, when you have kids, you'll understand. I'm just kind of sitting there no, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't have kids, but I'm never going to be that kind of parent. If you have an important meeting you're getting to and your kids are going to be fussy and this and that, you give them stimulus in the form of toys. It's kind of basic. You don't give them an iPad, have them put on a video, and make them shut up, because then your kid's not being stimulated. Their brain isn't being stimulated. A lot of people tell me when they watch my videos, they don't even watch my videos. They just listen to my videos while they draw in the background. And that's fine. I have no qualms with that, because I do that. I like having a background voice to listen to when I'm talking. So that really, really long intro is to the point here, though. In January of 2020, they're implementing new things because of the fact that the number one demographic for YouTube is kids. And I've fought for YouTube Kids app the entire time. I'm like, why do we have this app literally made for age-restricted content? But then you see things and they get through the age-restricted content. Like, I'm pretty sure it was Nerd City who said it, but it was another YouTuber. But they showed that even through YouTube Kids, they can look up stuff like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Vlog Squad, Ace Family, this sort of stuff. And they're just the first ones that pop in my head. I know there's others out there, but and so then these kids and kids are smart. That's another thing. YouTube and adults in general need to stop thinking that kids are idiots, because they're not. They know how to get around these things, especially growing up on it, hearing about it. A good example is I'm a Five Nights at Freddy's fan. I know that there are a lot of young children who are also Five Nights at Freddy's fans. And then when their parents actually find out what Five Nights at Freddy's is, and they watch some of the YouTubers that are screaming and cursing and watching these things happen, they're instantly like, oh my God, how can my kid watch this? It's like, no, duh, it's not made for kids. It's made for like PG-13 and up. They're made for, you're supposed to be 13 to have a YouTube channel. They're made for that demographic, which is fine. That isn't a problem here. But the problem is that there are channels literally going towards the shut up kids. I'm shutting my kids up, here's YouTube. That's it. Kids know how to skip ads. I've watched it. I have watched kindergartners full on. An ad pops up and they just keep swiping. And they keep swiping or tapping the little ads corner until the ad's done. They're not dumb. They understand these things. And that's ad revenue going in someone's pocket. And I've never liked the idea. Of parents making money off of their children. There's an argument here where like, oh, if my kid wants a YouTube channel, well, what am I stopping them from making it? That's true. But when, I don't even want to say the word, I know it's one of the big words that YouTube doesn't like, but when there are disgusting people that prey on children, the word. Normally I don't care about this, but I kind of want this video to like get in people's subscription boxes. It's not even for money. It's just, this is a topic that I care a lot about. But there are people that prey on children. That is a no-no word that when people say it, YouTube doesn't send the video to subscription boxes, and they end up putting, this is a big thing earlier this year, they end up putting timestamps on like family vloggers and kid vloggers that it's disgusting. They ended up putting these timestamps on these videos of like key frames of kids in like suggestive positions, like in family vloggers and blah, blah, blah. And when YouTube stepped in and they demonetized the channels and they got rid of the comments, suddenly you saw parents being angry they weren't making money anymore. They weren't angry that YouTube was stopping these disgusting people. They were angry they're not making money. And they're angry that YouTube isn't just getting rid of the people. When it's scary to say, but you know what? There's no limit to how many emails you can make on Yahoo, Hotmail, and Google, and how fast it is to make a YouTube account. There is no way for the bots to catch them all. There's none. There is no way. I don't believe there ever will be a way, because the number of gross people compared to people who actually offend is gigantic out there. I've been tricked by some of those people in my younger years, like it's a lot more common than people would like to think. And that's a problem. And YouTube is doing it the only way they can. And by affecting these channels geared specifically towards kids, there's going to be channels getting hit in the wake. And you're going to see a lot more of the bigger guys. You're going to see them start, pimping out their Patreon more, moving over to Twitch more, talking about other social medias to follow them on. having their coffee donates and their PayPals and stuff in the description. I mean, I have that in my description, but you're going to see a lot more people talking about it. You're going to be seeing it a lot more because there are a lot of people out there who make content geared towards that. And it's sad because there is a lot of amazing content out there, very, very clearly not made for kids. And they're probably going to be safe. I believe I'm going to be safe, but I could be completely wrong because I like drawing cartoon characters, and that was a big thing. Even though they're my own characters, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. YouTube is attacking people for making not safe for work content. As the, like, graphic content. I guess I shouldn't say not safe for work content, but graphic content. But then in the same boat, they're not going to affect people who are gearing towards kids. And the big reason for this is because of the people abusing the system. And there's no one way to fix it. Now, we've already had a lot of adpocalypses, and originally, when the first two happened, I wasn't big on YouTube. I'm not big now, but I didn't see any effect. This past year, though, I finally saw an effect, and it was stressing me out. There was a time where I was making pretty decent money off of YouTube. I'll say decent. It wasn't great. It was definitely not enough to warrant me not working, Before, I remember for the longest time with YouTube, once you hit 100K, that's when people were doing this full time. That's not the case anymore. It's not going to be the case anymore. You're going to be seeing more and more people who are doing this, and it's not until they're like at 500K that they can do this full time. And the problem too is, people want good quality videos, but they don't want people to get paid for their work. My videos don't take that long to edit. They don't do this, and they don't. I'm gonna be honest. Mine are pretty simple. And it's not that I don't want to do more in-depth videos. I was actually talking to a few of my friends here, and we were talking about how, like, I've wanted to do a, like, movie game reviewing series for so long because I love literature and I love gaming and I love that stuff. But talking about it and realizing that, like, yeah, the time alone to make talk sprites, I know is not going to warrant the video. I know that's not what it's going to be, and I don't want to bring in a new following of things and then people expect one thing instead of my other, when I like to diversify my audio. Yeah, my backdrops are usually the same. Like I said, it's usually art in the background, but I like being able to talk about different things, and I'm happy when people click on it and they like hearing different things than just rants, just story times, just this and that. But at the same time, I've been affected drastically from this. There was a time when, I would say last year, nearly every video I made, within the first 2 days, it would hit about 2,000 views. That's great. For a channel my size, that's great. But the problem is, I should be making a lot more views than that. A lot of people should be making a lot more views than they're making. It's not just me being affected. This is everywhere. I'm seeing people who have millions of subscribers and they're not even hitting 10K on a video. Even if it's a bad video, that's not normal. And people tell me constantly. I'm getting comments literally every time I upload a video of people being surprised that I'm still making videos, of things going on where they're surprised that I didn't take a break over the summer. When I didn't, I make videos every Wednesday. And while, yes, the YouTube money is nice when it comes, that's more of a personal goal for myself, is to have a video out every Wednesday, But now I'm in a financial place where I'm like, it's not even worth, like, if I'm having a really bad week, I'm just not going to do it. And then there's sometimes where I'm doing really great and I get all my videos done in like the first week of the month, and then I'm good and I don't have to worry about it and I can work on my other work. It's why I also diversify my income, is because there's no way it's reliable. But then you see some people who have, okay, now this isn't shade because I genuinely love this person. But then you see people like Smokey Glow. She has a lot of different content. She does mostly commentary stuff. She has about 70K now, I think. And I think she's great. But, like, almost every video she makes, she gets, at least 20 to 30K on a video, which is great. That's the average you're supposed to be getting when you have that sort of range. I should be getting at least, 5,000 to 10,000 on a video on average, and I'm not. I'm barely making 2,000. Over the summer, this summer was really hard. I did my poly video, which was something I was very opinionated on. I was very angry about because I see a lot of people in the LGBTQIA plus community who are very toxic and people don't want to talk about it. And they make it a bad name for other people that are genuinely in happy, healthy, loving relationships. This goes the same for, heterosexual relationships. It just be good to each other. That video did really well over the summer. And I remember I was surprised how well it did. And the fact that it did really well, I remember being like, in a weird way, I was relieved. I was like, because I was having such a bad summer this past summer of 2019. And I remember being like, I can't believe this is doing well. I needed something like this. This is going to be great. And then when my check came in, my YouTube check came in, or my Google AdSense, I shouldn't say YouTube, I get paid through Google. That's another misconception I wish people would do. We get paid through Google AdSense. We don't technically get paid through YouTube. Even with YouTube Super Chats, it goes through Google AdSense. So when I got the AdSense for that month, I remember being excited. I was like, oh, it's going to be a little better. It's going to be nice. It's going to be good. And it wasn't. I believe it was actually less than my previous month. And that was when I didn't have any videos go get big. And I remember just staring at my computer and being shocked that a video did really, really well and I gained a lot of subscribers from it. And here, I literally made no money off of it. None. Now, people have told me the summer and January is always the worst time for everyone. And I didn't believe that. And here's why. I know this is a long video, but it's just me spewing off. And the reason for why is because, people are doing more things in the summer. That's just how it is. You do really, really, really well in October, November, and December. And then in January, it just tanks because everyone's like going back to school and then doing some that. But just how it is. And it's also when, the big ads aren't there because, they want to sell stuff for holidays because, yay, capitalism. But I remember being told that summers are always bad. But for me, summers were always my best times of year. That's when the cons are. That's when I would get the most commissions. That's when my YouTube blew up for the very first time. That was when I made that. The summer was when I made that commissioners can scam people video. The artist can scam people video, which is like my most popular video I ever made. And, I remember just being, and every summer after that, even though it was hard summers, I always made really good money in the summers. So I was kind of surprised that this past summer was so bad for me. And this is what everyone was talking about. And I got really depressed about it because I ended up doing, on top of other things that I've talked about, on top of doing a lot of other work, and a lot of other prep and everything, I was doing all of this work for literally, I would have to say, probably like a fourth of what I normally get paid. And this isn't with just Google AdSense. This is just in general. Everything was down. Which is why the con helped me a lot. That one con really, really helped. And I'm excited that I have a con in January, so hopefully that'll help out too, with January stuff. But when I think about it in my end, I'm like, yeah, it sucks, but whatever, I have other income. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, this could drastically affect, this is what people are talking about. Like, I finally understood what people were talking about, because in some people's heads, they're like, oh, well, you didn't make, this is a generalization, I've never actually made this with YouTube money, but I know people do. It's like, oh, they only made $2,000 last month? Wow, boo-hoo, that's more than I make at my job. But think about if this person, their bills are $3,000 a month. I live in California. My rent alone, is $1,700 a month. Now, we're lucky we're in a rent-controlled apartment, so we're not going to be leaving anytime soon. But that's just to live. That's just our apartment. And that's just how apartment prices are in Southern California, So it's one of those like, oh, crap, if you only made that much money, you better hope you're with someone else because congratulations, you don't have power, you don't have food, you don't have anything else, But then in like some cases, in other states, $2,000 is a lot of money. $2,000 in general is a lot of money, but when you have bills and responsibilities. Let's just ignore health issues. If you have health issues, you're even more screwed, you know? And it gets to a point where you're seeing now the bigger picture here. You're seeing more people being affected. And you're seeing the fact that pretty much when things go down, when it comes to social media, the only way things get done is if you have a presence everywhere. You can't have a presence in one spot. What does that mean? Well, I used to be a fan of I Hit Everything. I say used to just because I know he doesn't make that many videos anymore, and it's no big deal. But I remember this was years ago. This was before the apocalypse hit. But I remember his channel got like deleted one day. It just got deleted, and I remember it was such an uproar, and it was all over Twitter, and it was all over Instagram, and I think like the next day or the day after, YouTube reinstated his channel with everything on it. That only happened because he had a big presence on Twitter and things like that, and bigger influencers on Twitter were sharing and adding and talking to YouTube because it's all they care about. It's a lot like bigger corporations. I've been a part of a lot of retail jobs, as you know, and there's a lot of retail jobs that get away with a lot of illegal stuff that goes on. And they go along with it because it's such a big giant that if you're just a tiny person, you don't matter. It's a terrible thing to say. But I know other people have done videos on it. Gabby Hanna has also done a video on it where she was talking about how this gym screwed her over. And the only reason she got her money back was because she had a presence on Instagram. I don't even think they knew she was a YouTuber. You know, they had a presence on Instagram, and that's why everything happened. And then people were messaging her like, I've been trying to do this for years, and nothing happened. Because these people don't have a voice. And so you're going to be seeing more people pimping out their Twitters and their Instagrams and their Patreons and things like that, because it's the only way now to notify people that your stuff's coming out. I've had to start doing that. I've had to start going on Instagram and Twitter and be like, hey, new video's up, because people are telling me they're not getting it in their sub boxes, even though they're subscribed to me and they click the bell, or they're just unsubscribed. The other day, my buddy Quan, she does not have a big following at all, but, you know, she was like, oh, I posted a video, and our group of friends were like, hey, we're subscribed to you, why don't we see it? Check back on her channel, and I was just suddenly unsubscribed, and that's just a thing that happens too. I've also had people comment on that. It's like, oh my god, I didn't know I was unsubscribed to you, but I saw you in my recommended, and that's why things like likes and dislikes and comments are becoming even more important now than they used to. You know, if you see a video with 3,000 views on it and it only has 100 likes and 2 dislikes, that video is not going to do well. It doesn't matter that it's doing well with the views. The little YouTube bot isn't going to shoot it out to people's sub boxes because they're like, there's not enough engagement, there's not enough comments, there's not enough likes or dislikes. It doesn't. And the problem here is the like and dislike bar doesn't matter. If you have a video that's extremely disliked, it doesn't hurt the video compared to likes, you know? And so that's a big thing too. You know, I've gone through now that I've known this and I've been seeing this, it's true. Whenever I see YouTubers that I care about, I like videos, even if I haven't fully watched it yet, because I'm like, I just want to be notified when this person posts. And then I did a little test on my own. And sorry, I didn't record footage. This has been like over a month or so. But there were a couple people I know that they didn't post often. So I went through, I'd say about like 4 or 5 of their videos, and I liked all of them. I didn't even want to watch them. I just liked all of them, right? And then there were some bigger YouTubers that I followed that I didn't do either. I didn't comment, I did nothing. Because also with the comment thing, I understand sometimes you have nothing to say. You just liked the video. And I do that too. Because sometimes I'm just like, I don't know what to say besides I liked it. Thumbs up, you know? So it's not like you need to just be like pleb or something, you know? Just if you don't feel like commenting, that's fine. But try to like and comment videos and share. That's another thing too. You know, you hear people talking about it all the time, and I used to like roll my eyes at it, and now I understand why. It's because YouTube's not doing it for us anymore. You know, and I'm not even a big channel, but there's bigger channels being affected. There's a couple people I follow that are like in the 100,000s, and I had noticed the same thing people were talking about with me. I'm like, oh, they haven't made a video in a while. I'll just check up on them because I'm like, oh, I like this booktuber, I like this movie reviewer, this artist, and then I check back and it's full of videos. I'm still subbed. I didn't get any of them. And then I went through and I looked back, and the last video I liked from them was from like 8 months ago. And I remember being like, well, I shouldn't have to do this, but that's how YouTube is now. And with the changes in January, you're probably going to see a drop in ad revenue again, too, because another big thing with the kids going back around, and this is where I'll end it because it's already really, really long for a rambles. But with the YouTube Kids thing, there aren't no laws in place like there are for child actors that the money being made from these kids are going to the kids. Parents can say they're putting money away in child funds and they're doing things like that, but you see this a lot with family vloggers. You see these people buy all these, these rich cars and these rich houses, and they go on these lavish vacations without their kids, or their kids, they now have like a McMansion and their kids are sharing a bedroom, a tiny bedroom. And it's one of those like, if your kids are making that much money and they're the sole reason of your income, why are they getting the short end of the stick? Obviously, you don't have to share your finances, but when you see things like this, it's like, I don't believe this kid has a college fund. I don't believe this is going away for the kid's future. I believe this is going away for your future because you don't want to work. And that's why these laws are in place, because you're seeing these kids now who they are being abused. There are a lot that are being abused and we're just not seeing it, And there's a weird gray line where some people will argue and debate, oh, yeah, this kid's abused because they went to Disneyland and, I don't get to go to Disneyland. Or, oh my God, this kid and their family got to fly to Paris. I wish I could fly to Paris. And it's like, there is a gray line there. There is. But at the same time, have you ever noticed, because I would see this a lot before YouTube was big, you would see these families dragging their kids along to things that the families wanted to do, but the kids did not. You'll see kids at Disneyland or Knott's Berry Farm, or mostly theme parks is where I see it, but you'd see it other places too, where the kids being dragged along because they had to, because they couldn't drop the kid off somewhere, they couldn't do this and that, and they're being dragged along against their will, and they're being forced on rides they don't want to go on, they're doing this and that, and it always sat wrong with me, and it sat wrong with my parents, and even when there was a time when Disneyland wasn't expensive as it is now, my mom would always say, like, if you guys were sick, even if we had a Disneyland trip planned, if you were sick, we wouldn't go. Because why would I take my sick kid to Disneyland where you're just going to get sicker the next day because you're not resting? You're not doing better. And you're seeing that more and more with these kids, and you're seeing these kids, because they're always young, too. It's another thing that's always brought up, is what's going to happen when the kid doesn't want to be on camera anymore? What's going to happen when the kid doesn't want to be this and that? And then you see the parents who, they pretty much bribe their kids to do it. It's like, oh, well, if you do this, I'll get you an Xbox. Oh, if you do this, I'll get you a brand new TV. I'll get you a new iPad. And, kids being kids, they don't know any better. They're just like, ooh, new toy. Okay, I have to do this thing even though I don't want to. Okay, I'll put on a fake space. Like, kids, that's another thing with kids. They want to please their parents. You'll see cases of kids who were from very, very abusive households who still love their parents because it's all they know. They still want to please their parents because it's all they know. Even though their parents were terrible people, because that's just how it is. That's how they are, and it's becoming a thing now where we're seeing more and more of these kids growing up in the YouTube limelight, and they're not going to know what to do, and they might not have any money set aside for the future. Am I saying that every family is terrible and every family vlogger is terrible and everyone having a kid channel is terrible? No. But you're also seeing a lot of good channels being like, oh yeah, these disgusting people are trying to, do disgusting things with my kids. Yeah, take the comments off. Yeah, take the demonetization off. We'll go do something else. And those aren't the people I'm talking about, because those aren't the people anyone's talking about, because they do exist. They do. The people that are being talked about are the people that are making money off of their kids, and YouTube is noticing that, and COPA is noticing that, and Child Protective Services is noticing that, which is why these changes are happening, and they're happening rapidly, because kids are getting hurt. Kids are in the news. I've heard stories. It's why I also had to stop following some family vloggers. There were family vloggers I liked that I had to stop following, because I would start seeing things where it's like, oh yeah, people broke into our house again. People left gifts for my kids. Someone tried to kidnap my kid at school. And it's like one of those things where it's terrifying. And it's one of those things that's like, when we eventually have kids, I don't know if I'll be vlogging anymore. I don't know if I'll be doing that, because even though I like vlogging just for fun, and doing things with Cody for fun, I don't know if I want my kid to be growing up in that way. And I definitely don't want to be making money off of it. If suddenly I have a kid and my subscribers and views just skyrocket instantly, I'm going to feel really uncomfortable because of my kid suddenly doing this, not because of the quality of my content or my character, but the fact that I have a kid now. And I think that's the bigger issue. And so there's my rambles and opinions on it and the changes with YouTube and how things are going and how it's affected me, so far, and how I think things are going. So I'm hoping things are going to be okay in January. But you know what? You never know. So I know it's kind of a somber-ish video, but I felt better redoing the audio for this than doing the really heated, ranty one that I did previously. So, as always, guys, I make new videos every Wednesday. All of my social media links are in my link tree down below because I have to start saying that now. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.